Ravens training camp wrapping up today, and on Ravens Rundown, we will take one final look at training camp with the winners and losers heading into week number 2 of the preseason coming up on Monday night as your Baltimore Ravens take on the Washington Commanders. Speaking of which, we're going to be live for that game right here on the channel for our second Ravens watch party of 2023. Our coverage will get started at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. You will not want to miss it live right here on a Ravens Rundown. And between now and then, we're in a bit of a sub-battle between our Commanders report to see who can get the most subscribers here on our competing channels. Not only do we want to beat the Commanders on the football field, but we want to beat them off the field as well to show who's boss. So we got some work to do. You want to beat the Commanders? You want to join us for our watch party? Go ahead and subscribe to the channel now and turn on notifications. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV, and we will see you on Monday night. Our first training camp winner is none other than quarterback Lamar Jackson because, of course, Lamar Jackson was going to be a training camp winner. Lamar has been fantastic, and I got to give Lamar a lot of credit for really just getting it in gear. Once he got the contract taken care of on the day of the draft, he has been super focused and really just picked up this offense under new offensive coordinator Todd Monken with ease. And when you look at the weapons around him that the Ravens invested with Zay Flowers, OBJ, Nelson Aguilar, and company, in addition to what they already had in Mark Andrews, J.K. Dobbins, this offense is going to be fantastic. And it all starts with Lamar. And his leadership role has been showing it. It even impressed Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator for the Ravens, saying this: the reality is you do want them involved, referring to Lamar and the veterans. You do want them feeling good about the process, how we do good about the passing game. And once they do that, then there's a certain amount of empowerment and ownership in what we do. So Lamar taking ownership in this offense that you're going to see create space, attacks the entire field. You'll have a strong run game, which will open up more play action for Lamar. You'll see some air raid concepts, which Lamar is familiar with dating back to his days in Louisville. They're going to dictate tempo at times. You'll see them run the no huddle periodically. You'll also see them run the football and wear out clock. Whatever they need to do to be in control of the football game, Lamar is going to do just that. And when we talk about the best tight end room in football with Mark Andrews, likely Kolar and company, you're going to see Monken's offense use those tight ends to create mismatches. This is a natural fit. And I believe that Lamar Jackson is going to get back to MVP form like we saw when he won the MVP award several years ago, the first year under Greg Roman. You're going to see that Lamar Jackson return in 2023. I feel very confident about it. Todd Monken's putting him in a position to succeed. Our pen comment today: do you agree? Will Lamar return to MVP form in 2023? Y for yes, in for no. Weigh in, tell us what you think. You might get an ad break. If so, take advantage of it. Get your votes in. Tell me how you feel. Y for yes, in for no. Loser on this list is cornerback depth, and the Ravens have had terrible luck when it comes to this corner position over the last several weeks, losing up to 6 players when it comes to the corner position due to injuries. Now, we're expecting some guys to be back and other guys to hopefully make their return later on in the season. But where things stand right now, here's the expectation of guys that are expected to be available week 1 when the Ravens open up their season against the Texans. Rock Ya-Sin, who is currently injured at the moment. Ronald Darby, who they signed just a few days ago. Jalen Armour-Davis and Kyu Blue Kelly, the rookie out of Stanford. Those guys are expected to be available. Meanwhile, Adarius Washington, Arthur Mollett, and Seymour, those guys are also expected to be around when the season begins for the Ravens. 7 corners, and the most notably that's missing is Marlon Humphrey, who had foot surgery. He's out for a month. Demarion Williams with an ankle injury. He's out 2 months. And Trayvon Mullen, already the first season-ending injury of the year with the toe injury that he suffered. So things are not great on the injury front at the corner position. The Ravens really lacking there. We've talked about it numerous times on this show in the past that the Ravens have depth issues with the injuries that they've suffered. They've had some really bad luck all across the board. In this corner room, before the season even begins, is already depleted. So I'm very, very concerned about that group where things stand right now. Back to the winners list. We can't talk about training camp winners without mentioning Zay Flowers, the rookie receiver out of Boston College. And Zay Flowers has been fantastic. And I think you're going to see the best rookie receiver in the National Football League this year, potentially playing to a Pro Bowl level. The expectations are certainly high, and he's delivering on everything that's been asked of him, and then some throughout camp to this point. John Harbaugh weighing in on Zay Flowers, saying this: he's hard to cover. He's got great feet, great acceleration, change of direction, and the defensive back, if he's in coverage, has to match that. It's the same in tackling. You've got to match that as well. So that's what good players do, and I'm excited to see him continue to grow. The Flowers effect has been phenomenal throughout camp. And even before that, in OTAs and rookie minicamp and all that, he's already earned the nickname Joystick, which, I mean, if you're already getting called Joystick, you've earned some respect and you've done something right. And what we've seen in practices, as far as the Flowers effect goes, as I like to call it, defenders are having to hold Zay Flowers and interfere with him just to be able to make a play, just to be able to slow him down. That's how good Zay Flowers has been. It is no laughing matter. Zay Flowers, he is him, and he is going to be phenomenal. And I think he'll lead this team in receiving in 2023. What do you think? You believe in flower power? Will Zay Flowers lead the Ravens in receiving? We believe he will here on Ravens Rundown. If you agree, type T for true. If not, type F for false. Weigh in the comments section. Tell me how you feel one way or the other. T for true, F for false. Next on the losers list is Ben Cleveland at the offensive guard spot. And the expectation for Ben Cleveland entering 2023 was that he was going to be the successor to Ben Powers, that you would exchange one Ben for another at the starting left guard spot. Instead, he's not even competing for the starting role at left guard. What the hell happened, Ben Cleveland? That was your job to lose. Instead, looks like he's going to be the backup right guard and is nowhere to be seen when it comes to competing for this spot. As we've seen the rookie Maul, as we call him, from Oregon, the 6th-round pick, as well as Simpson, who the Ravens, of course, brought over previously from the Las Vegas Raiders, really good run blocker. Those guys are competing for that left guard spot. And I'll be honest, I'll be frank, Ben Cleveland is the biggest bust of training camp, okay? I mean, Ben Cleveland, it was set out. The red carpet was laid for Ben Cleveland to be the starting left guard. And he's not even competing in this competition. How did that happen, Ben Cleveland? It's ridiculous, quite frankly, that he's not involved in this competition. And John Harbaugh and company have a great track record when it comes to position battles, of being a fair judge and giving everybody a shot. And he's not even around to compete. It's just silly that Ben Cleveland didn't step up to the plate and he's not competing for that starting left guard spot. Biggest loser for me in all the training camp has been Cleveland there. Another winner is running back Keaton Mitchell, the undrafted free agent out of East Carolina, is certainly turning heads with the way that he's performed throughout the last several weeks. And Todd Monken caught his eye saying this. Monken said he's got elite speed. I mean, he does have that, so getting him to the edge, he has quickness about him. He can possibly be a matchup player. He works awfully hard. He's diligent in the meeting room, taking good notes, asking good questions. The thing that I've seen about Keaton Mitchell that impresses me personally is that he's going the extra mile to be great, okay? You can have talent. That's one thing. But then another is putting the work in. And that's what we're seeing from Keaton Mitchell. He's doing what it takes to be great, and he deserves to be on this roster, and he's a pretty decent pass catcher as well. Melvin Gordon, $3 million was insane to think about paying for Melvin Gordon, who's washed, old, and got a fumbling problem. Nothing personal with Melvin. We're just being real with y'all. Keaton Mitchell, I think through what we've seen in training camp and the way he's performed and the shiftiness, the speed, the work ethic, and all that, give it to the young guy. Give him that spot. I'm done with Melvin Gordon. You don't need Melvin Gordon on this team. Reward Keaton Mitchell. I'd love to see him stick around. Name a winner from Ravens training camp. Still got some more names to get to, but it's your chance to weigh in. Drop a name in the comments section. Who comes to mind that was a winner through Ravens training camp so far? Tell me in the comments section. Give me one name that comes to mind here on today's show. The last loser on the losers list. If you've been watching this show for the last few weeks, this is no surprise to you. J.K. Dobbins is our final loser on the list. And although J.K. Dobbins did come back, and we heard that at practice on Saturday he looked pretty decent, it was not a good offseason for J.K. Dobbins. It began when he skipped mandatory minicamp. He then staged a hold-in on the PUP list where, according to Ian Rappaport, he could have practiced. He just chose not to. That the injury that he had that was undisclosed wasn't really that serious, according to Rap Sheet. Then Dobbins, on top of all that, he, throughout the offseason, publicly voiced his frustration, wanting an extension and wanting to get paid, while other running backs like Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley and Dalvin Cook and other guys that have actually, proven things in the National Football League weren't getting paid. And J.K. Dobbins, who has struggled to stay healthy, has not had a 1,000-yard season, was out there complaining about not getting paid. Sorry, J.K., what have you done to get paid? On top of that, it got worse for J.K. Dobbins. The depth chart that was most recently released has Gus Edwards as the number one running back for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, if Dobbins puts in the work and turns things around the right direction, he should get that number one spot back. But for now, he's your number two back. And he's entering the final year of his rookie contract with $1.4 million that he's set to be owed there. So, J.K. Dobbins, it has been a frustrating offseason for all parties involved here, and I'm ready for him to just put this all away, go play football, go compete, play at a high level, figure out the contract stuff later. We'll see. Last winner on the list is tight end Isaiah Likely. I love Isaiah Likely. The Ravens drafted him last year out of Coastal Carolina, had a really good preseason last year, had some flashes, some good moments last year in the regular season, and this year you're going to see him take on a more prominent role in this Ravens offense. We mentioned how Todd Monken is going to use a lot of 12 personnel. You're going to see him in packages with Mark Andrews on the field at the same time, where he could be a decoy of some sorts. And I think that what we've seen from Isaiah Likely is him take that next step in his development to be a very good tight end, be one of the better ones in the league this year. John Harbaugh had this to say recently about Likely. High expectations for Isaiah Likely, nothing but the highest. He's a talented guy, works super hard. He has the best day today. That was a couple days ago. He just works to get better every day. It should be a big year for him. Last year, solid rookie season. 36 catches, 373 yards, over 10 yards of reception, 3 touchdowns. Expect him to play a prominent role in this Ravens offense and build upon his stellar rookie season in 2022. Reminder, make sure to join us coming up on Monday night for Ravens and Commanders, live right here on Ravens Rundown. You want to beat the Commies, want to get 25 in a row, spam FDC in the chat. And make sure to join us, 7:30 Eastern, right here on Ravens Rundown. Ravens Commanders Watch Party, spam FDC, and we'll see you on Monday night. Thanks for joining us.